Either you want change or you want comfort, but you can't have both. Friends and grasshoppers, this is the Formless Podcast, episode number 116. I'm your humble host, Dustin. Tyler is out this week. He is doing National Guard stuff. He is out eating things that would make a billy goat puke and eating green berets for breakfast. Something like that. Anyway, just thought we'd do a solo cast this week. It's my wife's birthday. She's an amazing lady, and I love her with all my heart. And this is an open letter to her. Change. Change is scary, hard, uncomfortable, and all of that. Or it can be amazing, great, an experience, an adventure. I believe it's all in how you look at it. Now, I'm the oldest of 4 kids, and in my family, that makes you the de facto babysitter. And because of this, growing up, I didn't want children. I didn't want any of that. I looked at it as work, as responsibility, as a job. And when you're a teenager, that's probably the last thing you want. Even after having children, I would tell friends, I never wanted kids. This is what I got. In a joking way, granted. My children are wonderful and I love them all. So don't get it misconstrued. But I changed. Somewhere, someplace, in some fact, somewhere I changed. My kids are all great. They're all wonderful. They're all uniquely individual people. And I don't claim to have any responsibility at all in any of that. It's all due to my beautiful wife. But she changed me by proxy, by just being there. And I think we've all experienced change. We've all experienced things that have made us change. If you look throughout history, as a society, we've experienced change. Look at events in history. I'm sure the people that were around during Pearl Harbor witnessed a tremendous change. I can only imagine what it must have been like. Scary times indeed. But change doesn't have to be necessarily scary. You can learn, you can grow, you can experience things. And as an outcome, change your perspective, change your outlook, change who you are. And that's just what my wife did for me. She changed me just by being there. She gave me a different outlook. You see, when I met her, I was working at a grocery store. And I just figured that that's probably the kind of menial job I would have until I died. I didn't have anything to strive for. I didn't have anything to work for. I played guitar, and I played off and on in a couple of different bands, and I lived for the weekend. And I just figured that I would live in this little town and work at this grocery store and become a curmudgeoned old man who worked at a grocery store. And then I met this gal who also happened to work at this grocery store, but was doing things. She was going to school. She was taking care of her grandmother. And she was working. And she had a smile that would light up the room. She still does. She still does. And I was infatuated. But I knew that if I stayed on my current trajectory, that there was no way I was going to get her attention. And that became my focus. As frustratingly as it was, that was my focus. I had to talk to her. I had to have her attention. I had to live up to her expectations. She saw something in me. What it was, I don't know. But she gave me some attention. And I knew that if I was going to pursue this, that if I was going to keep her hooked, that I had to do something. I had to change. I had to change the way I was living. I had to change who I was for the better. I had to pursue something that before I didn't think was worth my time. I had this misconstrued idea that working for the man, being a wage slave, was lame. And in some aspects it still is. But I had to put myself out there. I had to try and improve my life and my living situation and my financial situation. Because I had someone to take care of. I had to try. I had to fail. And I had to learn. I had to change. And it was hard. And it was scary. And I failed more times than I succeeded. I'm still failing sometimes. But those failings didn't matter. When my kids were born, it changed my outlook on a lot of things. I grew up. I still have some growing up to do, and I still have a lot left to learn. But it gave me hope. And I see them and I realize that no matter who you are, no matter how old you are, at one point we were still children, or we were all children, excuse me. And we all did dumb, stupid stuff. We all had to learn. We all had to grow up. We all have to figure things out as we go. Some of us are super sharp, figure it out really soon. Some of us take a little while. It takes a little more effort. I'm in the latter category. I had to figure it out. I had to learn. I'm a slow learner. And I needed help. And this really nice, pretty girl helped me out. She saw pity in me, or saw something. I don't know what. I always call it pity. But I don't know. She'd probably call it something else. Anyway, she's amazing. And I love her with all my heart. And I hope she has a wonderful birthday. And she's got other stuff coming in the mail, but I always try and do a little something for her, make her feel special. And a couple of years ago, there's a little convenience store, and they have a sign out front, and for like $10, you can put a message up on the board as long as it's not political or overtly religious. So I put a happy birthday, Brighton. And I woke her up at 4:30, 4 a.m. in the morning. The kids were all still asleep, and I drove her to this sign. She's like, "What are you doing, you crazy man?" I said, "I got a surprise for you. You got to come see it." And I drove her to the store, which is only like maybe a mile from our house. And I parked right in front of the sign, turned on the headlights, and let her see the sign. And then said, "Good morning." She liked that. She thought it was fun. Adventures. Little silly stuff like that. I can appreciate that now. Before meeting her, that would have just made me mad. That would have ruined the surprise. But I also would have liked to sleep in until 10 or 11 or noon. Now I wake up every morning at 4:30, and go after it. It's going to be a short one this week, friends. Next week will be longer. We got some guests coming up. Some adventures to talk about. Some scary stories to talk about. But we'll be back next week with a little longer episode. Hopefully this finds you well and you're having a good time, or you're learning a lesson, but you're changing, whether you want to or not. We all are. Embrace the change. If you have a question, have a comment, have a love or a hate comment, go ahead. We can take it. Give it to us. We have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. All can be found at the Formless Pod. You can email us at theformlesspod@gmail.com. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Stay tuned for some messages from our children.
Happy birthday, Mom. Hope you have a good day. Love you.
This is Hunter. Happy birthday. Love you.
Hey Mom, it's us. I'm not sure if I'm going first because I wrote this in advance. And I wanted to say I love you and all that you do for us. Some of us can be a pain. Even me, I'll admit. It's the little things that count. Most of the things I love about you. Like giving me a blanket or starting a fire on cold days. Getting me soup and the remote when I'm sick. Making meals. And I don't say it enough, but thank you for everything you do. Thank you for a perfect life. I couldn't ask for a better family and an even better mom. I love you. Happy birthday.